Welcome to PredWings podcast, where Smashville and Hockeytown collide. And now your hosts, Rhett and Ron White and D-Law Dan Lawless.
Welcome to PredWings podcast, episode 103. Social media, PredWings podcast on Facebook and Instagram, at PredWings Pod on X and YouTube, and you can listen and follow us on Podbean, as well as our email address at predwingspodcast@gmail.com. So once again, no Beer League Minute. That's coming up next week, I believe, is our first game of the winter season. So one more week of no games, which is a nice little break for me. Other than that, just enjoying this couple-week break. And I guess I can just roll right into the recaps unless you have any small... So, the Preds are coming off the win and against Carolina, and so they had a nice little I guess it was a Christmas break because they played St. Louis on the 27th, so they had a few days off for the Christmas break, and I don't think they even bothered to go to St. Louis. It was just a pathetic, just another pathetic showing. You're so pathetic. They trailed by 2 goals 5 times in this game. You can kind of come back and, it shows a little bit of tenacity coming back. But, when you're trailing that by 2 goals 5 that many times a game, there's something wrong. Saros just absolutely. So I know why I keep playing that song, but the first 2 shots on goal went in, and St. Louis really didn't look like they were playing all that great. Obviously they scored 7 goals. One was an empty net goal on a 6-on-4 advantage because the Preds had to pull the goalie. But the Preds actually played pretty good in this game. They didn't get the goaltending. It's definitely on Saros on this one. And then, Noonan came in the second period. Didn't play all that bad. I think he only gave up the 1 goal and then the empty net goal. So the empty net goal doesn't get charged to him. So, and all those goals that they scored on Saros, they were definitely questionable goals. There are goals that, I'm not even going to compare. And then just briefly, Winnipeg game a little earlier, they couldn't even score 3-0. They gave up 2 power play goals. That's all I'm going to say about this one. But I guess St. Louis isn't that bad of a team because they. Well, I'll just let you take it from here.
You're talking about St. Louis?
They
had their way with Detroit. It doesn't really matter because most teams do. But Holloway got a hat trick.
Yeah, he scored in the...
Faced 20 shots, allowed 3 goals. Just a joke. Just a joke. Absolute joke. Joke. Detroit just looked flat in this game. They looked stale. Everybody looked lost. They didn't know what they were doing. They couldn't do the fundamentals. No back check. Open slot all game. Chasing the puck. It looked awful. Just awful hockey. And it reflected in the score. 4-0. Detroit, they have to do better. They have to fill those spots. They have to, not chase the puck. They're breaking down defensively and just there's no back check. But this would be the last game with the one and the only Derek Lalonde. Newsy is out. He is no longer. And in with Todd McClellan. So, when was that game? That was 27th. Yeah, Toronto, which was the Mitch Marner show. Back-to-back hat tricks. Mitch Marner got his hat trick in this game, and Detroit just came out and carried that same energy into Toronto. On paper, they looked okay, but watching the game, they allowed Marner to just get himself open over and over and over again. I mean, he didn't just get 3 goals; he had a number of chances outside of that, and luckily they didn't go in, but a lot of that just stemmed from, again, just a defensive breakdown. They set up the box, and the box gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as they're playing around in our zone. Next thing you know, the slot's wide open, and who's there but Mitch Marner? So the Wings just have to do a better job, defensively, and it kind of stings because you want them to come out and have, a good look, a good first a good first game for the new coach who brings a different energy. I mean, Todd McClellan just brings he's a different type of coach than Newsy. You know what he expects, you know what he wants, and you know when he wants it. It's very evident. So, kind of sucks, at home. His debut didn't go as planned, and Detroit got smacked around a little bit. But now let's go back to, let's go to Ovi's return. Now, you and I were joking, D-Law, and I had said, I think that Ovechkin's going to just have his way. Well, I was wrong. I was wrong. But he still came back, and he still scored a goal. I mean, the guy is just on fire. He's got 17 for the season. I mean, he's leading more than he's been on how many games, and he's got more goals than half the Red Wings.
I think he missed at least a month, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's
But
the fact.
I
The
mean,
dude's going to break that record this year.
he actually returned against Toronto. I think it was either the night before or maybe it was Friday. I'm not sure exactly when. I mean, he did score. It was an empty net in that game, but he did score, and then he scores again in Detroit. I don't think it was a power play goal, but
No, it wasn't. But
was he? Did they leave him wide open, or just I didn't see that goal? So
who, Ovechkin's?
yes.
Yeah, it was just it was just a quick snapshot. Just typical Ovi. Nothing out of the ordinary. Um, but I mean, he finds his way to get open. Like it was a nice setup, right? You know where his office is, right on that left side in the face-off circle.
Yeah, kind of like
Right, I mean,
Stamkos.
right there. It was a smooth play, and I believe it was Dylan Strome that got it over to him, and it was a bang bang play. I mean, that's where that left face-off circle. Nope, I take it back. It wasn't Strome, but he put him right in his wheelhouse, and that's what's going to happen. However, while he might have scored, Detroit ends up winning this game. I think they played a little bit better. I think they looked a little bit more organized, and this was the first game after the first full practice with McClellan. So hopefully that message has been received, and hopefully the Red Wings can turn the season around and honestly make a deep push. I'd be a little surprised, but watching the early games, and just seeing the lackluster communication and whatnot. I mean, McClellan just told these guys, listen,
Did you?
you have been playing this game for how long? Play it. Just play it.
Yeah, well, he didn't exactly said that. He had there's a
Curse words.
couple,
Oh,
but,
for sure.
but yeah, I mean, maybe that's what Lalone, whatever his name is, Lalone should have done.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, these guys need a fire lit under them. They need to find a reason, a passion. I mean, not to change topics, but um, But like the Lions, they bring in Dan Campbell, changes the entire environment. The entire culture changes. As you can see, they're playing the best football they've ever played. So hopefully the Red Wings can, simulate that type of success where you bring in a guy, obviously he's only got half a season left to do what he's going to do, but in the years next year or so, I'd really like to see some progression. I've talked about that numerous times on the show that I'm just not seeing the progression. I don't see us going forward at all. So that's when I started questioning Iserman is, hey, we're how many years in and we're not getting the littlest bit better. So hopefully McClellan can turn this ship right and get us on the right path here. But yeah, that's all I got.
And with that goal, Ovechkin's now at 8-7, so he's 25 to pass. 20, 26 to tie. No, 24 to tie. 25 to pass. And I mean, all these coaching changes. Just briefly, I don't want to get too much into it. Boston, St. Louis. I think Chicago. Did Chicago change theirs? Detroit changed theirs. Just kind of ruin. Yeah. I don't know if they're rumors or maybe the Rangers are expected to maybe fire theirs. I heard another team I can't remember now, and maybe Nashville.
But who do you go get?
I kind of like to see if the Rangers if the Rangers do fire Laviolette. I'd kind of like to see them get Laviolette back and see what he can do with Trotz and this crew. This offensive team that we got. So, no, I don't think Buffalo's going to fire their coach. They just got him. So
I know, but the retread of Buffalo is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
go around with Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that's true. But just briefly, the Predators. I mentioned last week talking about Milwaukee, Vinny Hinostroza. The Preds recalled him. I didn't know if. I'm not sure if he played in Winnipeg or not, but they called him up, and he's actually leading the AHL. He's the AHL leading scorer. So, I know, and he's an older guy. I didn't realize. I thought he was more younger, but he's been around. So a little bit of a veteran presence, but yeah. So that, it's pretty much all the news as far as Predators. Not really.
Go ahead.
Not really hearing anything on the Trotz corner about trades or anything, or I don't think he's gonna fire Burrow. He might, but I think he's kind of playing it out. I don't know what
I still think they'll ride out the season no matter what, but I think they can. I don't know. I'm still not counting the Preds out like we said last week. They could be playing better and their time is running out, but if they can click, I mean they've got the star power on that team to do it. I mean, on paper they look incredible.
Yeah, I mean, except for the last two games. I mean, I guess St. Louis, they're kind of like a middle team. But when I was watching this game, I thought the Preds played really well, other than Saros, and I didn't really think the Blues were playing all that great. I mean, they played good enough to win, obviously, but and they were capitalizing on their chances. Like the first two shots went in. Goals that Saros would normally have, in my opinion. But yeah, they gotta put together a consistent game, and they get shut out again to Winnipeg, who's been kind of slumping as of late. So I didn't get to see this game, but so I didn't see how who was actually had the edge,
So,
but
yeah. So let's
you
just
know,
let that go.
so all I know is they got shut out, and they got too many good scorers to get shut out, even by a good defensive team like Winnipeg. But I don't. Other than I haven't really. I don't know as far as any injuries. I don't think. I don't really see any major injuries that I know of. I know the Predators had a couple. Couple injuries. I think I just seen that. Okay, are you still with us?
I'm loud and clear.
Thought you fell off the face of. But as I was saying, I believe I saw something where Matthews is out again. Not sure.
Yeah, he
I
didn't play
thought
against
it's
Detroit.
okay. So
Still Detroit.
sounds like he's injured again. So, but as
Yeah,
far
we talked
as
about last show about the upper body injury.
okay, I thought he came back, but no. Well, other than we talked about the Rempe suspension last week. Other than that, there's nothing. Other than Maroon, he's at it again. He got fined for an elbowing against Dallas Stars player. I don't think he just got fined, no suspension, even though the penalty was for roughing. But that's it for that.
It has been very exciting this week, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm a PredWings 10. I just had to mention before I go into this week. I was looking at it earlier, and I don't know if I mentioned it, if I was going through the list last week. I didn't really hear. But I had Toronto on my list twice last week. I don't know how.
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't think they're that good. But anyway, Vegas has been red hot lately. On a 6-game win streak, I got them moving up to number 1. Yeah, I hit them at 3 last week. Kings been playing pretty good, so 2 for them. Washington, they got Florida dropping because of those top 3 teams. Got Colorado reemerging in, and the same as Winnipeg. They're on a 4-game win streak. And Edmonton staying the same. And then I got Toronto only once this week. I don't know if I get them moving up or down because I had them at 5th and 10th, so I don't know if they're moving up or down. And then I got Boston moving in again. They're playing decent. And then Minnesota, I got them moving back in as well at 10. So that means Ottawa, New Jersey, Carolina dropped out because those 3 teams that just moved in.
I still think Winnipeg is on the top of that list. I think arguably we can put New Jersey or Vegas up there. I'm going to go with Vegas because they're on a 6-game winning streak. So I'm going to go Winnipeg. I'm going to go Vegas, New Jersey. And then I'll probably go Florida, Washington, Minnesota. Probably the Kings next because I know they've won their last 2, I believe. Toronto, they look good without Matthews, so I'm going to keep them in my top 10. And then I'll probably round it out with Carolina and probably Colorado, who's on a 4-game win streak. Edmonton is right there, but I'm leaving it at that.
Yeah, Edmonton is 7-2-1. Their last 10. Only best right now. The hottest team is Vegas at 9-1. Their last 10. So that leads us just. And I mentioned, I don't want to go too deep into this topic, but the Winter Classic, I was like looking at the schedule, and I'm like, there's only 1 game on the 1st, and it's not the Winter Classic because the Winter Classic is Chicago and St. Louis, and I think it's Wrigley or come here. I think it's Wrigley. It's one of the baseball stadiums.
Yeah.
I think. Again, I think they had last. I don't know, but. So I'm looking, I'm like, well, where the heck is it? I'm looking, it's on the 31st. That's New Year's Eve. Well, the Winter Classic, has always been on the first. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was on the first last year. And I mean, the whole Winter Classic thing, I think is overdone. I think it's time to. I mean, it's a great thing, but it's been they've done that since what was it? Buffalo was the first one who started it, at least in this later part. I think Canada's had their own little Heritage Classic for quite a while before this. I'm not sure when they started theirs. But I believe that was 2018 when they started their Winter Classic, and it's quite a few years now, and it's just overdone. I mean, yeah, maybe it's a tradition, but it's just maybe keep the game, on that day, but not call it the Winter Classic. Maybe not even play outdoors. I don't know. I mean,
I always thought it was on the first.
so did I. Till I don't know if this is the first year they're doing it on the 31st or not. But
yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I just think that the Winter Classic needs to go away for at least for a few years.
Don't be grouchy.
The first couple of years it was great, outdoor. I just don't think outdoor hockey.
I've seen them done D-Law personally, which is obviously. I mean, I guess it's never too late to go back. But what I would have liked to have seen is, how the Lions play on Thanksgiving every single year.
That's a tradition.
Correct.
Same as Dallas.
Having an original six showdown every year is a Winter Classic, like an old school pond hockey outdoor game,
and kind of like a little tournament. I mean, yeah, like
I would not even a tournament, even if it's just one game. Just have two of the original six teams playing against each other,
or you could have six
New Year's.
Or have have 3 games, six. The 6 teams can play 3.
That's how you want to do it. That's fine. I'm saying you just have one,
or like rotating every year, maybe. But correct. I don't.
So no matter what happens, it's always an original 6 matchup.
That would be interesting, but I just.
It would hurt the feelings of the non-original.
I just don't think. I'm not really big on these outdoor games. I mean, I know it's hockey in its way. I mean, it kind of goes back to the roots. But playing pond hockey, and I've done, pond hockey, in the pond hockey tournaments we had. I'm sure they still got them going on 4 or 5 times. And the last time I played, it just wasn't fun. It was cold. I mean, it was fun, but it was just, cold. And then the ice was not, it was actually played on a pond at a golf course. And, it's obviously the ice, it's a pond, so it's not going to be perfect. So you got ruts and everything, and you hit them and you go down, you bang your knee up, and it's like, this is just not fun anymore. Just not fun. I've done it. It's fun. I could say, yeah, I did the pond hockey thing. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it's not pond hockey, but I don't know. I just don't think NHL should be played outdoors. I mean, that's.
I don't. That doesn't bother me. I mean, they're not playing on an actual pond. They're actually playing on.
Well, yeah, but it just. And then you got outdoor games in California. How they even have ice? Because I mean, obviously it's regular ice, like like a rink. It's not real. It's real.
We know.
But it's just I'm beating this too much. So
you hate it. It's all right. We get. I think it's a cool.
I just think
did it differently because one year they had 10 outdoor games and there's a Winter Classic and then these other weird games and
Stadium Series, and I know the Predators that were involved. They had a Stadium Series, and it's like.
Whatever. None of that excites
me. I don't know. I just think it's overdone. I mean, maybe if they could just get back to just having the one Winter Classic, but at least have it on the 1st, not the 31st. I don't know who decided that one.
More news. What do you feel about I think it's Jakob Dobez incident with Gary Bettman and the Canadians?
I haven't heard anything about that.
So you know how what's a tradition for a rookie's first game? What always happens?
Oh, let's take the ice by themselves, solo lap,
Correct.
which would be sweet. I would love to do that.
So the goalie, I mean, they push it. The league pushes it. They think it's cool. So Jakob Dobez goes out for his rookie lap as the goalie, but he set his helmet down, did the lap, came back, got suited up, did his little routine, went back on the ice, took practice or pregame. Bettman fined him for not wearing his helmet during the skate. Even though he's literally the only person on the ice at that moment.
The pregame skate?
Yeah, he got fined.
What is he trying to do? Because a lot of players don't wear their helmet on the pregame skate.
It's illegal. He got fined for it, and the kid had a shutout in that game.
Because I've seen, they're players are doing their pregame skate, and I've seen players skate. I don't know. I mean, haven't really been watching. Obviously you're there, but I've seen where players are skating their pregame skate without a helmet. So do they get fined? I don't know. Maybe they seem like they're doing a lot of fines lately, because I just see here that they fined the Dallas Stars, I don't know why, $100,000 for violating the collective bargaining agreement. No, I'm not sure. It doesn't say why. It just says they violated the CBA. So not sure exactly why. I don't know. I mean, if it's related to the salary cap, they could definitely fine Vegas every year for that. But I'm not going to go on Vegas. I'm not going to go on that yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any more news.
That's all I got too.
So let's see. Nothing really new on the Admirals other than Minnesota got called up. They looks like they split the last weekend with Chicago. So they're still at 14-9-1, 32 points. So not too bad on their part there. Just wish the Predators could kind of take a page out of their book. Nothing new on the Griffins. All right, so the weekly picks. Let's see. For the Preds side, we're both wrong on the St. Louis game and the Winnipeg game.
Well, good. I kept my advantage.
Yeah, by 2. And then for the Wings, let's see. We were both right on St. Louis. Both right on Toronto, and I was correct on Washington. You are incorrect. So that pushes me to 1 behind, 22-21. So overall, 42-39. So I got to step it up.
Good luck. Detroit, we got Pittsburgh coming to town. I think I'm going to go with a win for this one. I think the Wings are going to carry this momentum under the new coach. I think it'll be short-lived when we go to Columbus. I think we'll lose to Columbus. But then I think after that, which we'll get into probably the next show, should we do Winnipeg's game at Winnipeg?
That one is on the 4th, so that's Saturday. And then we
I'm gonna go with a win on that.
Hopefully we'll be back to our normal Sunday.
I think this is going to be that unicorn game that maybe the Wings win. And I think if they win that game, it'll hopefully ignite something and push them to finish this season strong.
So I'm going to win for the Pittsburgh game and a win at Columbus, but I'm thinking they're going to lose at Winnipeg. Just Winnipeg's they had that little slump, but good teams don't make the slumps very long, and they're probably going to start another streak. So bouncing over to the Preds, we got another. It's a back-to-back: Winnipeg, Minnesota. At Minnesota, they're going to lose that game. They couldn't score against Winnipeg. They might get one against Minnesota. The only thing is Noonan will probably play in this game because it's a back-to-back and Saros played Winnipeg. So that's the only thing that's could be wrong about that. And then on Friday, the first game of the year for the Preds at Vancouver, I think they're gonna win that game. And then it's another back-to-back at Calgary, so they got a road trip. They're on a big road trip here, a 6-game road trip. So it's a Calgary game on Saturday. I think they might win that game as well, and then we should be good next week for the next. I think at Winnipeg, got two Winnipeg games coming up. Jeez, at Winnipeg, so they must have some games against them at home. So just Minnesota, Vancouver, and Calgary for this week.
I'm going to win at Minnesota. I'm going to go a loss at Vancouver. I'm going to do a win at Calgary.
Trying to pick the same as me, so no, actually, no, that's the only one. Oh, that was the only one. Not that it really matters. Well, it would be nice if they could get some wins. And I think that's about it, I believe. It's not a short show.
Yeah. Short week. Short show.
All right. That's all I have for this week. Hopefully we'll be back Sunday and going into the new year. Hopefully we can be more consistent. So, you just keep listening to us. Find us on Podbean live shows, and, maybe we can get those listeners back like a couple of years ago with Dose and get some feedback, live feedback from listeners. So we're going to try to, for you listeners out there, try to keep a more consistent. Not sure, busy schedule for both of us and all that, but that at least that's a goal that we can at least try to set. But for now, we're going to try to keep it on our live shows on Sunday night. So if you're around and wanting to listen to a live show, hit us up on Podbean and our social media, Facebook and Instagram at PredWings Podcast, and X and YouTube are at PredWings Pod, and email us at PredWingsPodcast@gmail.com. Any last comments from? Thanks for tuning in to the PredWings Podcast.
Good night, Hockey Town.
See ya, Smashville.